And to top it all off, we are looking shape at Lamb of God. The poor guys have lost their guitars, Danny. Same 3 guys have come out, apparently, who have stolen it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they unfortunately this is happening quite often these days where bands are like doing the right thing, probably inside, looking at other bands, checking out the venue, and some guys go into their van, jimmying it open.
Yep.
Steal their gear. Unfortunately for them, these Lamb of God guitars are pretty unique in what they are. They try to put it on like some sort of eBay or something to sell it. Someone says, hey, you can't sell that. These Lamb of God guitars. And like, oh, and they put their information down. But they found the 3 guys, and geez, they look interesting, don't they?
They look like white trash. They are basically, if you watch a South Park episode of people who are dodgy, that's who you get, really, isn't it?
They really look like they would steal those guitars and buy any type of drug.
It looks like a bad story for Lamb of God, doesn't it? It looks like these guys have actually taken the profits from those guitars and used it for those mug shots. I mean, they look atrocious.
They didn't spend that money on haircuts, I'll tell you that, mate.
Yeah.
But they haven't actually found the guitars yet. They've found the 3 dudes, but I think the guitars are still at large. So hopefully they do get them back.
Absolutely. You know, these guys obviously you can see are good looking blokes, and with their guitars, they'll look even better. We'll wait and see what happens with that. Good luck, boys. We'll keep you guys posted with that. Next, though, we do have is Slayer. Gary Holt pens a heartbreaking tribute to fallen brother. Now, obviously, Jeff Hammond passed away. Gary Holt's doing his thing, and also, I mean, I'm not too sure what the other boy was doing, Baldy McBoldface, Kerry King, but this is quite a nice touch, didn't he?
Yeah, he just said he found an old photograph of them hanging out with the guys from Exodus or something. That's what they did in the 80s. They all had like the torn denim vest, and they all like teased up hair, which is considered metal. Now, not so much, but so they found an old photo. I guess you reminisce. That's what happens when you had an end of career, end of Slayer. You reminisce about how you started. You know, life flashed before your eyes.
Oh yeah, and there's plenty of years that these boys have done. I mean, plenty of touring as well. We talked about it last time with the singer, and he was saying how like doing the late night tours, because every time they do a tour with Slayer, they have to obviously headline it. And they're there till at least 1 or so in the morning, I'm sure, you know. And all the younger bands who are touring, they get to start early, party early. And I'd imagine most of them probably weren't there till the end either. So tragic. There you go.
Tragic. Well, at least they can enjoy their money, I guess.
Oh, look, I'm sure all those billions and billions of millions of dollars isn't going to hurt too much.
Yeah.
Gojira, though, Denny, a band that we have a love-hate relationship with. Mostly love, though. They are a pretty decent band. They are super proud of the new material that is released. We have reviewed these guys once before. I would like you guys to tell us an album we should review of theirs. I know we got From Mars to Sirius as my favorite album, and I'd like to do it, but we didn't think much of the latest album. Aside from production-wise, crisp sounding album. It sounded great. Some of those songs there, however, Danny, not so much.
Yeah, but I guess these guys are super proud of this new album, which makes sense. You won't release something if you weren't proud of it. So that's a bullshit headline. This is shit. We wasted 3 years.
Could you imagine that, like a marketing thing where they're like, you know what, it was stressful to make. We rushed it. We're not proud of it. Here you are, guys. I hope you enjoy it, though.
We're going to change our name, release another name. But see what happened to the guitarist like a couple of days back? Apparently they're playing some sort of festival in Europe, and they thought that'd be cool to have like flame shit off like the stage.
Oh, he got himself set on fire. He got the James Hetfield treatment.
The wind came was strong enough, so these 10-foot high flames literally blew at him, and he seemed like on the stage. Whoa.
Yeah,
like run away, go backstage until like guys like no more.
That's right. Yeah. But he apparently stayed till the end, so we were super happy about it.
Yeah, but these guys are supposed to be pro-environmentalists. They're just burning like gas and fuel doing
this.
That's
right. I mean, if they're burning hair, how much is that contributing to carbon emissions, Danny? Isn't it
terrible? So I don't know about these people.
All right, so we'll give a quick quote from the drummer. We're talking about
the album.
Mario Duplantier has said, "I cannot give too much away because we still have to be on the same page with all the other partners, and we have to give a collective release date and etc. But I can tell you that, we are working very hard on new stuff, working in progress, and we're very, very happy and super proud of it. We just can't wait to give you more details." More parties involved, Danny. Are they working alongside maybe some other musicians?
Nah, it's probably the record label, or maybe other musicians, but probably record label.
Well, we'll review it because we are super, super happy to review big bands here on the show. Skillet, Danny, the drummer from Skillet, has attributed all their success to the one and only Satan, but in opposite way, of the Satan of heaven. So that's pretty exciting, isn't it?
The anti-fallen angel.
Anti-fallen angel. I'm going to read a little quote. It's Jen Ledger is her name. Jen, does she look like a Jen to you, Danny, or more of a ledger?
I don't know.
Well, anyway, she's a Christian, which is good.
That makes sense.
It's all in the Lord, she says, attributed to her success. It's what he's done. Oh, it's okay. So he's going as a he. It's all him leading me. Truthfully, I wanted to be a hairdresser in Coventry, England. I've been in Skillet for 11 years, toured with the world, and now I'm going on my own music. I'm like, thank God I said yes to you. Even when I felt too big, even when it felt like I couldn't do it, I said yes, obedience at the time. He has blessed me with the journey and the adventure that I never thought was possible. Danny, this sounds a little bit like a Grammy nomination speech.
I know, she didn't win anything either. Imagine when she does win something.
Well, apparently she's won life so far, won a life. Well, she's chosen a medal, from what I understand. So that's pretty good. I actually haven't heard any Skillets though.
I think they came to LA.
They did. Yeah,
really nice.
we did talk to a band that played with them, I think, that night.
Oh, maybe, yeah. Yeah, apparently was really nice behind the scenes. Well, yeah, when you're a Christian rock band, you have to be nice. Otherwise, you lose all your sponsorship money and all those, you can't pass a church collection plate at the end of the show. You got to...
Yeah, I wonder if they do that for merch, It's just kind of like, thank you. We were so glad that we could play for you. So just give us a tip jar, about how awesome we are. But it's very. I do expect these kind of speeches from black basketballers. But this is a nice touch, maybe for whatever, Good for him.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot to say about just a random conversation. I don't understand why. I mean, sure, some of it is you. Yeah. And surely you get behind the drums, you play the drums. Surely you can say, I actually did a bit of work myself.
Do you think serial killers go out and thank God for their work as well? The Lord was working through that day. We'd like to thank for all the hard work.
If you read Psalms 27:18 back to front, you realize what I did was in the Lord's name.
That's the thing. I mean, like, God could have presented both. I mean, she could have been a hairdresser for, like, Kiss or, like, some porno studio, and she would have been paid even more.
She would be like Sweeney Todd, be a hairdresser and accuse people. So maybe she was. So maybe this was her savior. Yeah. Or those people in a chair's savior. She didn't kill.
Time will tell. We'll move on to our next story. Hey, Danny, speaking of Kiss, here they are in full glow. We are talking about Kiss obviously being accused of lip syncing. Danny, I can believe it because they were good, then they started getting bad, but apparently they were good again. The fans caught onto it, and they've asked for a refund. Well, one in particular at least.
Yeah, so if you've been unfortunate enough to type in Kiss in your YouTube, especially like this year, Kiss this year, they've been tragic. Paul Stanley really has lost it. Like I saw him 2 years ago with Motley Crue when they came down here, and then he was kind of struggling, and a lot of songs were sung by like Gene Simmons and the drum and stuff, kind of sharing the load, and a lot of the cheat, they just get the crowd to sing the high parts. And apparently this year I heard like 1 or 2 songs and they were atrocious. Not even close to being correct. Apparently some guy came out and spent like $1,000 on tickets, like $250 tickets, still charging full price, right? But then when he found out there's a lip sync, he went back to Ticketek saying, "No, they've misrepresented them.
That's
this
right.
is not a live gig. I want my money back." And Ticketmaster's like, "Yeah, fair enough."
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I mean, I'm sure you guys have an opinion on this, but the weirdest thing is if they came out in hologram, no one would have cared because that's the whole thing, isn't it? If they did the whole hologram thing with Dio, I mean they're not dead, so they would have been like, "You lazy bastards, get on tour." Yeah. So they're here, they're on tour, and they're like, "Look, if Paul Stanley has to sing again, it's going to sound bad. So let's just get like a younger Paul Stanley to sing for the band." And it didn't quite work out. So what they need to do, Danny, I think where Kiss is right now in their life is they should fake their own death. Have a CGI Kiss thing and just make money off that. Gene would be all about it. I think Gene would happy to knock off and stay in his mansion. I'm sure he'd get lost in his house. But I think that's the future for Kiss right now.
Was it Milli Vanilli with that? She get like people to pretend they Kiss on stage and then play the backing track to it. And people are like, "Oh, that must be Paul Stanley stuff." And then when it comes to speaking between like songs, the guy just like keys at the mic and doesn't move, and then Paul Stanley like talks from behind the stage. So
maybe
just get like dummy guys. Apparently when Meatloaf came in, did his book tour, speaking tour, he was here reading, and then he actually got someone else to sing his songs because he can't sing anymore either. So or they just retire. They should just stop. And that's it. We're going to stop our end of last tour now because we're done.
They could make money off of biographies. I mean, like, people are going to buy it because one, it's the name, and two, even if they tell a story that's exaggerated, like all good stories, you know.
But they've released more shoe merchandise. Now they've released those Crocs, those stupid shoes. So they got so much merchandise coming out of their bloody ears.
They got merchandise that doesn't exist. They've got the guitar picks, the air guitar picks.
Air guitar strings.
Air guitar strings.
And they charge you $5 for that.
$5 for a piece of plastic.
What a Gene move.
Benediction, let's move on. You can see the vocalist has quit to focus on Anal Nakareth. I know it's anal, but anal is much more fun word to say. And his PhD studies, Danny,
That's
smart
impressive.
metalheads. Not the first one. There are other ones out there that are super intelligent with the stuff. I'm trying to think of a word now, but that's because I'm not on metal injection, I guess.
Yeah, anyway, yeah, so good on him. Apparently, he was the lead singer of both Benediction and our Nacraft, and he's just focused on that and PhD.
Yeah, Dave Hunt, the frontman, since 21 years later, he said, according to the website, with the writing for the new Benediction album almost complete, it has sadly become clear that for me it will be impossible to give Benediction the full commitment it so richly deserves to the album it releases and the inevitable shows and the other future events. To me, Benediction is more than a band, more than a bunch of brothers. I've never had more than one of those most important things in my life for half the time I've been on the planet. Is an institution, blah, 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 blah. Super loves the band. Super can't give it 100%, so must move on.
Yeah, they didn't really say what he's studying, though, so I don't know. And PhD, you got to be pretty good to do a PhD anyway, but they haven't really actually said what that PhD is, so interesting.
I wonder if it's like a PhD in something like social science though, or political science or something. Apparently, if you've got politics in Australia, you just have to go for one state. The whole worrying about the whole country thing doesn't have to worry about. You just got to worry about Queensland apparently. Moving on though, because I know a lot of people are salty about that. And Woodstock obviously has been cancelled. A lot of people are sad about this, mostly because they're not metalheads, because no metalheads were harmed in the making of this Woodstock Festival. It was a festival that Danny was billed to come back and be all super awesome, but then problems started to happen.
Yeah,
so and I know there's a whole list if you guys want to hear it too.
Yeah, especially like a big 50-year anniversary since Woodstock was on, 69, and it sounded promising when they first thought they were going to do it. But these days, big festivals are just bullshit. They're just like social influencers using their dads and mums' money to buy bullshit tickets.
That's right.
Crap.
Let's look at how this all fell apart though. So obviously it was all announced and it was super dory, but number one, the headliners, the Black Keys, had pulled out. So that's a bit of a problem when your biggest draw card decided that they've got other things they want to do. There were botched ticket sales, which were pushed back indefinitely. There you go. So there's something circling out there, where you're buying something, but it wasn't for the concert apparently. Festival financiers, then who were backing the concert to go on, they started pulling out. Which was okay. So all of a sudden you're seeing this amount of hemorrhage out of the company. Michael Lane, the creator, vowed it was going to continue though, even though with all this happening, until rumors around 100,000 tickets were still needed to sell, and the venue, the actual place holding the fans, went from 150,000 people to 75,000 people. And as we talked about, they needed to sell 100,000 tickets in order for it to make any money. Then the current day, Lane claims that Amplify Live, the investing arm, illegally swept approximately $17 million. So there you go. Now I'm sure they're going to be in a bit of problems, there's a peril there, but maybe a lawsuit.
There'll be a Netflix documentary, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's right. You watched the one about the dance thing, and that was
Fire Festival.
Festival.
That was all again scam, pretty bad scam, and that poor island, they devastated. That was a tragic story, but apparently a lot of people got money behind and donated to the island to help those people out because it was quite a sad story.
Yeah.
But this one here, this sounds like another bullshit investment gone wrong, and lucky no one got to the point where they hosted or they're holding this, like the Fire Festival. All these people flew in and wasted their money. This actually ended up just dying now. But $17 million, where do they even get $17 million to steal?
Yeah.
Like, where did that money even come from to start it? So
I'm not sure.
I don't know. Scam. Sounds like a scam.
It sounds like a scam, but the problem was if you want to sell tickets, metal is the highest growing genre right now.
Yeah.
We talked about this last week, and not a single metal band there was announced.
Yeah,
so
this is nothing about the music. This is all about, again, this like Coachella and stuff. People go to Coachella. They don't care about the music. They just want to wear their stupid shit and so fucking
enjoy. So there you go, Danny. We were wrong because I thought this album was never going to get released. It has been announced. For those people who are interested, they even played a couple of songs live. We might do a video about that. We might not. It is Tool after all.
Yeah. So they said August the 30th. And a lot of people straight away said, yeah, you didn't give us a year. That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
Even the biggest fan was probably Jaded fan from Tool as well. We might review it. If you guys give us enough problems about it, we will, but it might be tricky.
Depends how long it is.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like an hour and a half, no. But the problem is that you can't judge it because once it comes out, every Tool fan like, this is the greatest thing since like the last.
They've been so deprived for albums, I'm sure. But even I think Behemoth got to hear it. Growl from Behemoth, so
he's anyway. But it's kind of be like Eddie Murphy when you have that sex for a long time and you get like a cracker. It's like, it's so teaser, it's like the same with Tool album. It's a Tool album.
All right, so we've got ourselves a great news story, the follow-up for the band Threatened. Now, Danny, quick story about Threatened before we get into this. The band, they are from the States, I imagine. They were going to Europe. They plugged it, so all the venues there were like, oh, these guys must be big. So they got all the venues lined up and whatever. Then they went over to Europe to play at these venues, and 2 people showed up.
Yeah, because they lied to the venue. The venues saying that we've sold pretty much all our tickets because they were their own promoters, and the venues like, sounds good, and they kind of push that light everybody else. They did like fake recordings of them playing at festivals. They bought like 30,000 Facebook likes and followers. So it was a completely bought band. They toured in Europe, and it fell apart so quickly.
The rest of the band sued the lead guy Jared though for damages. And the parents of those poor people, which I'm sure because they're metalheads, they do stay with their parents, and it's a sound investment. It's a smart move. If you're a metalhead and you're not living with your parents, then I don't know how you're making this work.
Yeah, you're Metallica.
Yeah, you're Metallica. Now, Jared's kept the dream alive. Threaten is still going on, even though there's no real band. He's decided he wants to get another guitarist. And Danny, I have the list for everyone at home. So if you want to be the next guitarist, and there's a list here that we can read out to the fans.
Pretty piss poor, isn't it?
Yes. Now, if you want to be in Threaten, and honestly, who doesn't? I mean, if you want to make a Metal Sucks headline,
pretty much you will get your name on a heavy metal publication, so it might be worth it. Yeah.
The most interesting thing here is he doesn't start off with what you have to be as far as play. It's what you cannot have. So he's kind of basically going through the list. And number 1 is you can't live with your mum. So Danny, that would have put me out for at least the first 30 years of my life.
Well,
being a musician.
Like you said, most metalheads probably fail on this category, don't they?
You cannot have more than one lazy eye. So if you need spectacles, there is no band for you. Now, the problem I find is that the guys who practiced generally for a long time have gotten blind from either seeing notes or tabs so long. So he's looking for a certain musician that isn't too good, but not too bad either.
But yeah, I get that there's the joke, like more than one lazy eye. So you have 2 lazy eyes, you can't be in a band. But if you're like Stevie Wonder, he's got 2 hours don't work, and look how good he is. So he's just missing out on a whole demographic of awesome musicians.
You cannot be someone who reads self-help books and think it's helping. Now, that's a bit of a paradox, isn't it? So if you're going through life and getting a little bit of help, maybe some insight into your playing or you being a better human being, this is not the band for you. So pessimistic arsehole who doesn't look at the media or whatever might be something you might want to consider.
Maybe this guy thinks he knows all the answers. So you don't need a self-help book. Just talk to me and I'll get you through life.
Be someone who says, spoiler alert, while talking about something I don't care about. Wow, he must have had some weird friends. I mean, this guy doesn't sound like he can handle personalities other than his own. Which is good. Be a vegan. You can't be a vegan if you want to join this band, Danny. So if you're not eating 17 steaks a day, this is not the band for you.
But you want to tour with vegans? They're cheap.
Yeah.
You want to go steak dinner? That's expensive. You be a vegan. It's like $2.
Yeah, exactly.
Or free one.
It could have gone with the caveat saying being a vegan who expressly tells us every 30 seconds that being a vegan. And I can understand, being someone who thinks high-fiving is ever okay. There you go. Someone who boosts morale in the team. It's not good enough, Danny.
No self-help, no high-five.
Oh, but there's more. And this is the thing. Having a forehead larger than the rest of your face.
Sure, whatever.
That's cool. So you can't have that kid Rocky. He can't be in this thing either.
Yeah. They have more issues than that.
Be someone who doesn't have the webcam on their computer covering with tape. How would you know? I mean, like, how do you go through that? That's amazing. This guy's amazing. It has to be fake now. Like, at this point, I'm thinking that this is all a troll. But again, because it's so brilliant. Like, maybe he knows Metal Sucks is going to get him the guitarist he needs.
He says it at the bottom, though, so you'll see.
Yeah. Okay. Have you ever said lol out loud? Everyone's done that. So obviously we got being whiter than me. So obviously you can see, this is a bit of fun. But as you can see, you must have good, proficient guitar skills, be comfortable being on camera, have a valid passport, be available to rehearse in Los Angeles, being able to understand that some of these requirements may or may not be a joke. Danny, now it is our time to decide which of these are a joke. How would you know?
He's the joke.
He's the joke, right? He is the joke. How do you know? Because what happens if he's like having proficient guitar skills is not part of it because he really believes that having more than one lazy eye.
I just think this guy's an idiot.
But he
came out like at the end of last year when all this fell through and he says, "Oh, people don't believe was a genius producing work I did or what I was trying to do, how I was trying to create is something." He was doing art apparently, what he considers art. And he goes and says things like this. He probably spent 10 minutes writing in his room. Thought, these are all the funny things that people like all these comedians attack. Yeah. So I was just listening to Bill Burr, what he makes fun of, and I was just brought on a list. Yeah. And think. No one's going to trust this bloke. Why would you trust to tour this guy? Unless you are crazy and you just want to go to London. It's like, here's an excuse to go to London.
Well, good luck to the guy. I think some people might be curious, but again, there's so much bad news about this guy, especially with the whole tour in Europe. So if you want to tour Europe, and being honest, Europe is the best place to tour. I mean, you can go in a bus and go to different cities in 30 days. Here in Australia, you can go to about 5 cities or 5 states, you know? So it's just brilliant.
Yeah.
Good luck. I'm sure you will find a guitarist, maybe someone who loves vegetables, loves high fives, and has a valid passport in New Zealand. Good luck, and we'll move on to our next story today. Nita Strauss, challenging musicians and people with fitness. Now, if you guys know who Nita Strauss is, she is a guitarist in Alice Cooper, Danny.
Yes.
She also did the Metal Gear Solid soundtrack. She did a guitar solo for that as well.
She was from the Iron Maidens as well.
She also did the Iron Maidens as well.
Yeah, very good guitars.
She can shred, and as you can tell by this photo, she can do makeup as well. But she's got a cool little contest thing. What is the contest she is doing?
Yeah, so pretty much there was like a 3 or 4 week challenge that she was doing a health fitness craze. Apparently she loves fitness as much as she loves playing guitar. Good on her.
I can tell.
Yeah, and she wanted people out there to like set the targets and then lose weight or shred in that time. Whoever lost or got shredded the most in that time won one of her guitars, which is a pretty good prize for getting fit and getting free guitar.
Now, she announced this, as you can see, in May 2019. At least this was on Ultimate Guitar. Yeah. And Danny, unfortunately, I've already found a winner. Do you want to see his winner?
Oh, so there's not the actual winner. There's some guy you found.
I've found a guy who's going to win it.
Oh, yeah,
like,
that guy.
Here's the thing.
Yeah,
like,
he already is shredded. That's like cheating.
Well, no. It's just, how do you not, like, come on. Like, if you're a guitarist and you're shredded and, like, that means that poor guy can't put on a bunch of kilos and then lose it again to look like that. I mean, this guy already is.
His fault for being fit.
Anyway, look, guys, I found the winner. Sorry, guys, you're going to lose, and too bad. And his name is this guy, which is Kevin Prasad. Now, if you guys know who this is, this guy here is more machine than man. He does a bunch of covers on the YouTube. As you can see by here on this thing, he's done Conquer All from Behemoth. He does a lot of stuff. He's done a Flesh God Apocalypse song. He's metal to the core. He's big to the core. I'm sure most of his comment section is girls wanting to sleep with him and guys saying how many steroids he does. I don't think he does, but he might.
You don't think he does steroids?
I don't know, man.
I think that's natural.
No, because he shreds so much that maybe his guitar now, there's demons in those arms. Maybe he's literally now a satanic. He's like that. There is the personification of demons.
Give him credit. It's a lot of effort, a lot of time to get that big, but I still don't think it's 100% natural. His guitar playing would be. His guitar playing would be natural. We'll give him credit for that, but that seems a bit too much.
Well, I think there's your winner. Honestly, I can't think of. I mean, even John Petrucci is shredded and he's pretty good at guns and stuff. He can't probably win it, but this guy is low key and he is on YouTube, and I'm sure he's got bigger breasts than Nita as well. Good for him.
That'd be impressive.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I guess it's still time for that competition. You might.
If you still want to enter it, do it. You know, if you think you can shred as much as this guy, you probably can, maybe. But the chances are, you know,
and free guitar.